Hi guys, there's something deeply wrong with how the Irish government spends money, almost as if it's going out of fashion. And sadly, accusations of corruption are difficult to avoid when we look at the figures being spent on very small-scale projects. There was a recent scandal over a bike shed outside the Parliament building, which came in at a cost of €336,000. Then we had this security shelter, as you can see on your screen, a small office with perhaps reinforced glass and a sloping metal roof. Now, before we hear the actual cost, have a listen to what I believe is a member of the Office of Public Works give us the cost and then try to explain it.
Ask the security shelter that's up beside the Department of Finance buildings now, was that an OPW project?
Yes, I'll take that.
It was an OPW project. That's quite a significant high-cost project, I believe.
Sorry, I was speaking specifically about the house of the Oireachtas.
Okay, I was talking, say, along Kildare Street, Marion Street, the compound of buildings. Yeah,
that's fine.
No, the OPW has constructed and finalised a project in relation to the security pavilion and the Southgate entrance to government buildings.
The Southgate entrance, and that is a very attractive security hut with a sweeping copper-clad roof on it. It looks very well. What was the cost on that project?
Can I give some outline of that, because that project followed a fairly...
Well, I'm quite tight on time,
okay.
And I just want to get to the point about what was the cost of that project.
The full cost of that project, Deputy, was €1.429 million.
€1.429 million. Okay.
But I want to emphasise that followed an extensive review of security in this campus by the Garda Síochána Technical Advisory Group. And whilst it looks like and is a fairly significant costs, there are very significant mechanical, electrical and security system costs in that. There was also a significant cost to provide a temporary structure while that building was taking place. There was significant underground works, there was significant ventilation, data, communications, CCTV, ramping into a control centre, a significant substructure, significant rerouting of underground services. So there is a huge security element to this project.
Which security element, but there's a huge price tag on it as well.
There is.
Okay, I don't know if this is worth 1.4 to 1.9 million euros, but according to the OPW, the Office for Public Works, it is. Now, the question has to be, there are a few questions to ask about this. Was this cost already known, or are we only discovering it now? Because obviously somebody was given a contract to do this work, and surely the contract would have included all of the costs. Okay, a surveyor would have to come out, architects would have to come out and decide, okay, what do we have to do? We have to reroute cables, we have to set up this platform, we have to create temporary accommodation for the staff or whatever. Was that all included in the project? Or was it, as sometimes is the case, the budget just goes out of control and then finally you arrive at a budget of between 1.4 and 1.9 million pounds or euros? So how do you get to these costs? Now, another question is, who won the contract? Because I've been trying to do a bit of research into this and I can't find the name of the contractor. Because there's a fear, I'm not saying this is what happened, but there's a fear that somebody, perhaps connected to a government minister or connected to the Taoiseach, the Prime Minister himself, perhaps won this contract because of connections. You know, donations to political parties, donations to ministers. Or maybe it's the minister or someone involved in the government set up a company to do this themselves and to win the contract. Look, I'm not saying this is actually what happened, because unfortunately we can't access the information. I don't know why the government department hasn't put out this information. They refused to put out this information, who won the contract, because if we could see who won the contract, then we can see if everything is above board. But huge amounts of money are being wasted. This is a waste. 1.9, almost 2 million euros for this. Couldn't they have something similar inside? Is it necessary to have something like this? How common is it for government departments to spend 2 million euros on something like a security gate? Is there an equivalence in the private sector? Once again, once it's somebody else's money, it's easy for government departments just to throw it away. This is at a time when the government should be building houses, they should be upgrading infrastructure. There is a real demand for cash, for infrastructure, for housing, for a whole range of issues, for hospitals, for example. How can this be justified? Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.